is our room. And here's Paul. Right here is the bathroom. With a shower in the corner. And there's a mirror, and a mirror, and a mirror. And then there's this room here.
And three luggage
three luggage piles on top of each other, but we have a double closet, very useful. Oh, the phone's ringing. Go get it.
Hello.
And there's our ocean
Yes.
vent and our ocean view window.
Not yet. Not yet.
We haven't left the
Well,
dock yet.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. We walked on to the boat from, I guess.
And we are now leaving the dock, heading out to sea. How exciting.
See, I told you wouldn't feel it start moving.
Still rolling. And that is Fort Lauderdale.
Good night, Fort Lauderdale. See you in a week or so. And the things just keep coming in. And you know what? Pardon me.
That's all coming through on the video. We are at Casabera in Aruba. We are not climbing the rocks because Paul wrecked his hip when we were walking around the shopping area downtown earlier today. Nice. Thank you.
blue, white and orange colored ferry. These are the ones because most of these have the floating dock. Left hand side we will see the natural harbor. Don't worry if you don't have a good view. When we come back to the ship, the bus is on the other side of the road coming back. So here you see Otro Banda, where your ship is Otro Banda. Then it is connected with the floating bridge to the oldest part of the city on the corner. The corner is called Punta because that is the comes from the word punta in Spanish, because there it looks like a very sharp corner. Punta. And here is Scharlo. We will be driving with the bus with you, lovely guests, through Scharlo, and then we will be driving through Pietermaai all the way in the back, and then we head for the liquor factory. You might notice all the way in the distance, you see the American flag at the horizon. That is where the American consul is. So the flag of Curacao, this is in front of the bus, the colors of the flag, and the blue sky. The yellow color is for the sunlight and the happiness of our people. Vehicles. Coming up in front of the bus, you will see the central bank of Curacao and Saint Martin. That is the cream-colored building that has a round shape. And there you will find the Dutch Antillean Guilder. If you want to have a look what our money is. To the left-hand side, the mural of the same artist of the Ugly Chicken. This one is called The Afternoon Romance by Francis Sling. And Francis Sling has his art studio here. And sometimes you see him walking, he's on the street, he's very friendly. In this area it's called Scharlo. And in the 17th century, the people had the intentions to make this an agricultural area, but they did not know that we had coral stone ground. So when they were trying to plant fruits and veggies, it didn't go well. So they went for plan B and turned this area into an area of beautiful homes. And most of these buildings have the neoclassical architectural style, but they have, decorations of the Rococo style and also Baroque. The monument to the left, that is made of chrome bumpers of one of our local artists, U.P. Kirindongo. And he takes the bumpers of the old Chevys from the 1950s and 60s, and then he makes these beautiful sculptures with these bumpers, which is at the moment being restored. The library is at another location, and the children can get free books at the library for renting, and the grown-ups, they can read the papers for free. To the left-hand side used to be a synagogue, and the building right next to it, you can also see the David Star in the gate. That used to be a club for Jewish people. Nowadays they are offices. You can see this man, Curacao tree, original from Curacao. And it's an evergreen, it's green all year. To the left hand side is the Monumento Fonds. If you buy such an old monument, they will help you financially, and they will advise you and guide you with specialized architects. Left hand side, we see the wedding cake house. This one is a little older than 100 years, and the icing of a wedding cake looks similar to the decoration of this building. That's why it's called the wedding cake house, but also the wedding cake house. So from left to right you can see all these monuments, and also a lady on the statue to the left hand side. That is Queen Juliana. The late grandmother of our king, Willem Alexander. To the left-hand side, coming up, the Cathedral of the Catholics. The official name is the Holy Rosary. And to the left side also the purple building is an art school where you can do playing, painting, drawing, singing, dancing and drama. Here to the left hand side a boutique hotel right downtown. And here one of the many churches of Curacao. We have many religions. To the left side the Methodist Church in English. Queen Juliana. And here also the body of water. The body of water is part of our harbor and it is called the Windy Bay area. We go and they bought up all these old monuments and made hotels, cafes and a lot of awesome buildings. You can see as we will drive by because of the hard coral stone floor. We cannot dig the grave in the ground. That is why we build these quiet and the government for their employees so that they would not have to travel that far to come to work. To the left hand side you can see on the entrance of the garden Puerto Rico. And that is because when this building was built, these buildings were not yet here and they had a wonderful view of the harbor. That is why it's called Puerto Rico. The Jewish groups, the Sephardic Jews, and we also have the Ashkenazi. So this one is the more new cemetery. My dear aunt also lives here, a friend of my mother's who is also resting here. And then there is this one is from the, I believe, the 18th century, and then there is another one in near the refinery oil
talking about
I don't think I've ever tasted it.
first the orange. Okay, you're good.
He lived in South Africa actually. He used this kind of material and this kind of expressions, but he also used wood, and around the world he has places different sculptures. I don't know what do you feel when you see his face? Sad. Sad. Actually, yes, as I said, he created this piece during the lockdown, and yes, with the hope to open to a fresh new start, holding and taking care of nature. That's why the ferns that have inside.
This yellow house with 2 white boats out front. That belongs to Jim Noggle, our city's longest serving mayor, for 6 consecutive terms. Jim's got a yellow house, a yellow shed, a blonde wife, and blonde kids, so he nicknamed him Old Yeller. How are y'all doing today? From around the windows. Originally built by the Egan family, they started Alamo Rent-A-Car. Their neighbors over on your left at the corner of Torpin Bend with this yacht dock beside it. That property was originally built and lived in by the Bell family. Anybody know what they did? They started Taco Bell. Now, if any of you guys are Harry Potter's fans, go over here to your right, fake alligator. That alligator's former personal property. Used to live there full time, but unfortunately, he is no longer with us these days. The new owner is Chuck West, the founder of Pet Supermarkets down here in South Florida. So back when Wayne was alive, he started 3 businesses, being Blockbuster, AutoNation, and Waste Management. As well, he is the former owner of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Marlins, and Florida Panthers. So when he was alive, he was a super cool billionaire, always out in Fort Lauderdale meandering around. He'd be on the docks right here waving at boats as they go by, and in fact, he's been on the Carrie B a handful of times. We let him drive it once, he didn't hit anything. I got to drive the Carrie B once, and let's just say this is the second boat to be named Carrie B. Her name, Virginia Wells, as in Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo owns about 85% of the expensive storefronts in Las Olas, and about 85% of my house currently. On our left, you can see this very modern one with the corner lot. Well, that guy is 44 years old, bought that house 3 years ago for $11 million, and it is worth way more today. He owns a program online that helps other companies advertise a little bit easier. And as we get to the other side of his house, you're going to see his little dark gray hot tub shaped boat that he's been known to putz around in. Continuing down, you're going to see this white house with a slanted roof that isn't as good looking, but still worth millions of dollars. That is Andy Griffith's old vacation home, but no longer living there. Instead, we have an 80-year-old Canadian. He is a super cool guy, very athletic, loves to go out and do his own yard work, and go paddleboarding, wearing nothing more than a neon G-string. It's not a pretty sight. But we've all seen weird things, you know. CEO of Kohl's Department Stores, and that empty lot you see is where they're going to build their brand new mansion. CEO of Walgreens. So we are currently outbound on the New River, and momentarily we'll be turning right onto the Intracoastal. The Intracoastal, it runs all the way from Brownsville, Texas, around the Gulf of Mexico, all the way around Florida and up the eastern seaboard, stretching for over 3,000 miles. And today we'll be on a small piece of it as we head into Port Everglades. That belongs to Bruce Paddock. He moved down here a few years ago from Duluth, Minnesota. He had a pharmaceutical company over there that he sold for $550 million and decided he wanted to be a full-time Florida resident. So he bought this lot empty. for $8.5 million and began to build his new mansion. This one right here took 5 long years to build, and in a few moments I'll show you where he and his family had to rough it for 5 years waiting for it to be built. And just so you guys are aware, yes, I am a narrator on board this boat, but my side job is cutting their grass with toenail clippers for 3 cents per blade. Over here on your left side now, you're gonna see this brownish house with some arches. That is Wayne Huizenga Jr.'s house. Now, the next property closest to us on our right side, well, if you guys remember Bruce Paddock back on the corner, this is where he and his family had to rough it while the new house was built. Recently sold for $19 million as well. Poor guy. Really way back. It's unfortunate. Oh, that guy's got a fish. So next on your right, you're gonna see what looks like the White House up in Washington, D.C. But we nicknamed it the Fort Lauderdale White House because of that. It's surrounded by royal palm trees, and at that height, it would cost about $50,000 to purchase and install. It is owned by Jack Hutchins and his family, and Jack is a former engineer for General Motors. At the time that Jack was working for them, they had this issue with their air conditioners freezing up. So one night in his garage, Jack made this little clutch to turn the AC on and off when it got too cold. He wanted to patent that idea and sell it back to them for $500,000. And Jim was like, nah, dude, you work for us. We are not doing that. So in turn, Jack took them to court for 10 long years and won $2.50. Coming over to your right hand side now, you're going to see this massive back there, and so they had their own private beach. Now the residents over there wanted to see how much it would cost to have all that sand dredged out and regain the dock space they had. The Corps of Engineers said that would be $1 million per property. So as you guys can see, the beach is still there.
Wilma Beach.
So to give you guys an idea of where we are in space and time, we are trekking northbound on the Intercoastal Waterway in Port Everglades. Had we kept going directly south, which is behind us, we would have hit Hollywood Beach in about 45 minutes, Miami Beach in about 5 hours, and Key West in 10 hours. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you guys. We aren't going to those places today, so please don't hate me too much. Going over to your left, which is going directly west, that is going to Naples, Florida, in 109 miles. And if we keep going this direction for 182 more miles, we'll reach Cinderella's Castle in Disney. Speaking of Disney, looking directly to your left, it is being perfectly covered by the Caribbean Princess's Bow right now, but that is where the new Disney Cruise Line terminal is. It's about 2 months old, and the Disney Dream is going on 5, and I told you guys that story 65 times, but number 66. And the third one, well, she's almost 400 feet long with a full-size tennis court.
Oh my God.
So speaking of yachts, you guys have probably seen quite a few yachts that's made in Fort Lauderdale. And not in town, we rented out pretty frequently Airbnb. Have a host of music videos filmed there. This is next to it.
That is Leonard Nimoy's vacation house.
That all boarded up house with a white boat beside it. They also used that house to film the movie Any Given Sunday starring Al Pacino. Now looking past his house, you're going to see this very modern white house with a chimney. That belongs to David McNeil. He bought that for $26 million, and the former owners of the property before him were Lucy and Desi Arnaz. Now he also has a house up in West Palm Beach that he bought for $30 million. It looks very similar to that. And this man is spending money like it's going out of style because he also has a massive yacht named W that you guys will see very shortly that he bought for $80 million. It's every single week. If you want to walk through the Hall of Fame Museum portion itself, it's only $10, so a great parade and super approachable. Now, as we make this turn